Hey kids, thanks for joining me in the garage again. I've got a new tool in the garage here, something I've wanted for a little while now. This is the SunGold Cut 50, one of the cheaper plasma cutters on Amazon. In this video, we're gonna give it a rundown and see how it cuts. If you've got one, leave a comment down below about how you like it. Hit that thumbs up if you like what you're seeing. And if you're here for the first time, consider subscribing. Let's do some plasma cutting. All right, so right here is pretty much everything that comes in the box. It does come with this little kind of jinky mask. You know, I've got my own welding mask. So, it comes, of course, with your ground clamp. This has the DIN 25 as a 200 amp ground clamp. And so that's pretty good, pretty standard size there. Comes, of course, with your torch, as you can see here. Oh, and I also comes with this little kind of hammer brush combination. This is similar to what you get with like a Harbor Freight, the 125 amp flux core welder. I'll just put that in the bin. Comes also, this is a dual voltage, and so you've got both the 220 and 110 that you can plug in. The cord comes with the 220, and then you can switch that down to a 110 if you want to, use it somewhere where you don't have the 220. So that's one thing I like about this. It is a cheaper one, but having that dual voltage, I think, really helps out a little bit, so you can use it in different places. So the torch, like I said, comes with the torch, obviously, and comes with an extra set of some consumables. It comes with the little ceramic, I don't know what you call that, cup, the little ceramic, insulator, and then the little, I'm not sure exactly what you call this. This is like the arc tip, I guess. And so that goes all together here, just screws on. These, I think the consumables, you can find these pretty common consumables in a lot of places. One thing I will say, like you can see too on the back here, comes with a couple of these little prongs for putting the tube together. I actually, put my own little quick connect on there for the air, and it comes with little hose clamps. The tube that comes with it, this is the piece of tubing that comes with it, and it fits way too loose in there. And so what I ended up doing is I had my own tube, and this right here is an inner diameter or outer diameter of 3/8 and inner diameter of 1/4 inch. And so that fit really nice and snug on there. And then, got the hose clamps. It comes with a couple sets of hose clamps. You get 4 hose clamps with it. You get 2 of these little prongs with it. And you also get some plumber's tape here. I ended up using my own plumber's tape just because, I don't know, this seemed to be a little bit flimsy. I don't know really what the difference is on them, but so we got it all hooked up. You can see comes with the little air filter and a air filter regulator combination. I don't know if this also is a dryer, but so far it seems to have worked pretty well. And so I think getting this all together is pretty easy. Like I said, I would go ahead and plan on getting a different size tube, a little bit smaller tube. It helps with any kind of air leaks that you might have. Also, one of the things we're going to be doing here is we'll do some cutting of some different thicknesses. I've got a piece of 1/8 inch plate here. I got a piece of 3/16 bar, and then also a 3/8 plate. And so one of the things you got to consider on these, this is a 50 amp plasma cutter, goes up to 50 amps, and you can adjust the airflow on these as well. But you don't necessarily want to set this, all the way to 50 with the highest airflow you can get. Depending on what thickness you're cutting, you're going to adjust those settings. And so I've got this little sheet here that kind of shows you the different settings for different thicknesses. I'll post that down below. I'll put an image on Imgur or something like that, and you can kind of download that and use that for yourself. But that's a handy little reference to have, because you don't want to just crank this thing up to high when you're cutting, really thin like sheet metal and stuff like that, because you'll end up, your cut won't be as good, won't be as smooth, and you'll end up having to grind that stuff flat. So, one of the things, of course, this is, using high voltage electricity in order to cut through steel and metal and stuff. And so you want to make sure, I'm going to be putting on my welding mask. I'll be putting on also, just a breathing mask, because you don't want to breathe in any of this stuff. And then, of course, gloves. I choose to do a full face shield, using my welding mask, because it's just kind of a good idea. You don't want stuff, hitting you. I've got long hair. I don't want my hair to be set on fire. So, you know what? Let's get this all hooked up here. We'll do a few test cuts, and I'll show you how it works. All right, we're gonna start hooking this up here. And so, ground clamp kind of goes in right here with the little DIN 25, no big deal. And then torch here goes in, has this kind of little screws in right here. We'll see how long this plastic kind of survives. It kind of screws in the brass nut on this connector here. And so hopefully that lasts a while, who knows. And then the actual trigger also screws in here. And then, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to start out with the 1/8 inch. And as you can see from the chart here, you're going to want to be about 20 amps and 30 PSI. Now this regulator is in kilogram kgf per centimeter squared, and then MPa. And so the kilogram fluid per centimeter squared is a little over 2. I think the conversion from 30 psi is like 2.1. And so I've got that set there. Once we turn this on, we're going to go ahead and set this to 20 amps. So, near the lowest setting. So there we are, right at 20. And so I'll go set this over here. We'll set up this plate on the table, and we'll do a little bit of chopping. You also want to be sure with these that you clamp the ground clamp to your workpiece. You don't want to, like on this welding table, I wouldn't want to connect it to the welding table. You want really kind of a direct connection to that. So, all right. So let me get my face mask on and then welding helmet, and we'll get going here. Have to say that wasn't too bad. Obviously, can use a little bit of practice, but let's let me grab that little brush they give you. Get some of that dross off of there. And that's a pretty, like I said, I'm a little new to this, and so not too bad, I suppose. But next thing, let's try some 3/16. See how that comes out. All right, I got a piece of 3/16 set up here. The little chart here also shows 3/16 about the same, 20 amps, 30 psi. I think I'm going to crank the amps up to 25 here, and then leave the psi alone. Seemed like it cut a little slow on that 1/8 inch, but otherwise not too shabby. This is 3/16. So as you can see, definitely have some to learn as far as speeds and whatnot. You can see So this was the direction of cut was in this direction, and you can kind of see how it's, you know, curved and basically the opposite direction. So I think either, you know, I'm not sure if that means I'm going too fast or if I'm just going a little too slow. But, you know, first few cuts, it seems to go through 3/16 just fine. And so, you know, next thing is I got a piece of 3/8 plate. We'll give that a shot and see how that handles that. So as you can see with this piece of 3/8, I've already done a little bit of cutting on it. And so just wanted to go over the settings here before we started on it. So, you know, with 3/8, it recommends, you know, our little chart here recommends 40 amps at 40 PSI. That's about 2.8 kgf per centimeter squared. And so let's set our PSI and our amps to the proper setting, and then we'll give this a cut here as well. All right, we're set to 40 amps and about 3 or so kgf per centimeter squared. And so we'll give this a cut here and see how well it goes. I know this, you know, before I had this set a little bit differently, and so let's see if it cuts a little bit better than what I had on this first test cut. Goes through that 3/8 just fine. So you can kind of see the cut quality on there, not too bad. You know, I'm pretty happy with this. Like I said, this is one of the cheaper Amazon plasma cutters, but it seems like it does its job pretty well. You know, I have to give it a couple thumbs up. You know, I'm real happy to have a tool like this. You know, I'm going to be doing some more metal fabrication stuff, and so it's going to make this a little bit easier than spitting, grinding dust. You know, now I can spit sparks everywhere. So hopefully you like what you saw. If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you're here for the first time, consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Keep on wrenching.